Hello, hello, hello.
So save the date 10/10/2020.
Stop forcing me to watch other streams whenever I click on Twitch.
Save the date 10/10/2020.
Stop forcing me to watch other streams whenever I click on Twitch. Okay. Are you gonna keep echoing? Stop, we're not doing that. I'm gonna mute that for a second. Alrighty. We can do now is find this. Pull up Discord and attack people with this. That does bring up me, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Alright. Hop in here. General Forkery. Spam that there. General, put this here. VGDC. I'm gonna go to game dev chat. Bam, put this here. Alrighty. We've assaulted people that I know with links. Now we're back. I see Gluten is here. What is good, Gluton? Welcome. I just assaulted people with links, and now I think we are all ready to go. We'll listen to myself real quick. And I'd say we're all good. Alright. I'm gonna give it a half second to see if people pop in. And while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna look at these other fantastic examples from Mirror, because that's what we're gonna be using today for multiplayer. I have no idea what these other ones are. We're gonna go to Discovery. I don't know what that is. Let's play Discovery. Should be a multiplayer game that it has as a default example. Start server. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what this one is. I don't know what most of these are. I guess we're gonna go play Pong by ourselves. Nice. Alright guys, welcome to the stream. Today we're playing Pong without the ball or the opponent. Yes, the Discovery Channel, Ethan. It is definitely that. Thank you for helping out. I wouldn't have done it without you, honestly. How about, Ethan, you can go ahead and pop onto, Pong if you want to challenge me in multiplayer, yeah. Alright. Yes, thank you, Ethan. Why is I can't rotate? Oh, that's right. I'm in Unity. I should know how to do this. Let's just do one last useful thing. Yes. Actually, wait. I don't know where this is. We're just gonna. Nice. Oh, what? What is it? Why can't I see it? You know, I don't even care. 1v1, absolutely. Just pop in the Pong that you totally do not have a build of and couldn't play with me. And I don't have a port open for you to play it with me in the first place. I'm down. Okay. Default scenes open. Bulb? I don't know what you're referring to. Can't help you with that. But. Oh, wait. Alright, so. First step of game dev. Find a tutorial. And then just bump up the play speed to 1.75. I don't do 2 times because 2 times it's hard to hear. And I did the math, like you save like no time jumping from 0.75 to 2 in most video lengths. So that's my trick.
Okay, so hello, welcome back to another Unity tutorial. In today's video, we're going to be doing some multiplayer using Mirror in Unity. In the previous video, I showed you guys what Mirror was, how it works, and we looked at an example project, and also I showed you how to get it from the asset store, install it, set it up in Unity. And for the next few videos on Mirror, I'm going to be explaining different concepts, how they work, and doing some little examples. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at ownership, how to know whether a certain object on the network belongs to you, belongs to other players, is on the server only, and all those
Probably if it has a name tag.
So this video will be split up into 3 parts. Part 1 will be setting up the scene, putting in the network manager, making sure we've got everything we need.
Got it.
We'll be creating the player and adding all the components we need to the player.
Minecraft Steve.
For the player, our custom script, that'll handle some logic for movement. I hope you guys are excited. Let's get into it. So in the previous video, I was setting up the GitHub repository for this project, and GitHub was actually down at the time, but now it's back up and it's on there. So if you guys need it, you can go to my link in the description to go to
that's funny.
repository, Mirror multiplayer tutorials. And then inside assets, we've got tutorials inside there. We've got today's, which is ownership. It's all about ownership. And then when I make more, they'll come in here too.
I'm not using GitHub.
Source code there if you need it. So in this video, there's not much coding. I'm actually just going to be doing it all on camera. I'm not going to be skipping anything. Step 1, as we said, we want to make sure the scene set up. So you guys
Alright.
don't need these necessarily, but I like using them. I know a lot of people do. I've used some empty game objects to separate the different things in the scene. So the
Too much work.
Network manager. We're going to stick on the network manager component, which
Was that an empty, he said?
Empty game objects to separate the different things in the scene. So the systems, I put the network manager. We're going to stick on the network.
Okay, yeah. Alright. So we gonna create an empty network manager. Bam. Add component, network manager. Bam. And all the code has arrived. Alright. That is very, very fast. But speaking of, yes, it is the ultimate strat. Yeah, I do that, Ethan. I totally do it too with lectures as well. Lectures, I can't watch lectures without, video I'm assigned. Yeah, I know. The best trick is in case you missed this, Jenna, you don't play it at 2 times speed. You play it at 1.75 and possibly 1.5, because 2 times speed just gets hard to comprehend, but 1.75 is, you don't save much time between 2 and 1.75 as much as you do from 1 to 1.75. Or 1 point, just proportions. You save very little time bumping it up to actually 2, so the comprehensibility of 1.75 is worth like the 1 minute you'll lose. It's not much time you lose in most videos, so I always do 1.75. It's a master strat. And apparently I'm also a reaction channel now, so yeah, I feel that. I know what you're talking about, Ethan. The place they uploaded there, yeah, I usually just watch it at 2 at that point if they don't let me do 0.75. Yes, I hate that.
Manager component, which I covered last video a bit, but this is so much to it. I can't, it would need its own video to explain what it is and what it does, because it does so much stuff. But effectively, it's how you connect as a client or a server. You change some settings. You want to override this to actually add custom logic to it. But for the sake of our demo, we don't actually need to override anything.
Haha, that's
funny.
Component,
which is the network manager HUD, which is going to show us when we press play.
Yeah, network manager HUD. The network manager gets a hat now. Bam. Alright. We have the manager has a hat. Right. I'm gonna have an actual video. I'm sorry, what video? What video does that include of that you're gonna have ready? I'm interested, but I don't know what you're talking about at the moment just yet. I don't remember you talking about making a video, but I'm excited. Alright, does our network have a hat? I think it does. Nice. That's a cool hat. Alright, back to being a reaction channel.
If we wait a second. In the corner, we get that little UI stuff. If you've used Unity multiplayer before, it's the same thing. It's a button for host, client, or server only.
Yes.
We're going to be a host, and we're going to build the game in.
Rather than a foreground video. What the frick does that even mean, Ethan? It's not about my... Okay. Oh, animatic for that thing. Yeah. That's cool.
compliant so that we can play against ourselves, okay, for the demo. But effectively, yeah, that's it. It's a network manager. We don't really care about players or IPs or anything right now. It all works fine for testing locally. The only thing we care about is setting the player profile, which is going to be the next step. But the other thing we need to make sure for this example is that your camera is aiming in the Z direction or the Z direction. So the blue arrow.
Camera is aiming in the Z direction. Camera. Which way you facing, bud? Nice. He's doing that. Hey, yo, what's good? Absolute cutie. Striped monkey. Thanks for popping in, bucko. And I'm excited to see your video, Jenna. I'm sure it is absolutely perfect. I'm excited.
Arrow, this is on global rather than local. In this direction is where it should be aiming, because I'm going to spawn players in and make them move off in that direction so we can see what's going on. And yeah, we can move on to step 2 now. So step 2, let's make a player. Let's go and create an empty. Let's make a sphere actually for the player. Okay.
Oh wow, he juked me out there. I about created an empty sphere.
Here they are. Let's just reset them. So the player is going to be called player and set player tag.
Whoa.
Just because.
Whoa.
What to do is we want to take off the collider because there's no collisions in this. Then.
Oh gosh, I gotta do multiple steps. Like he went fast there. Player. Player. He said what? No collider? Why? Okay. I'm sorry. I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. Alright, back to going.
And we want to actually add a custom script for the player, which I've already made, but it's got nothing in it. So if I go over here and drag on this player script, there is, as I said, no code in here. Yeah.
No code in here. Let's go. S. Are we gonna be nice and actually organize? That's funny. We're just putting everything in here. Later. We'll organize later. Maybe. Paying for unit. Wait, let's see. That's a lot of messages. Which it's true. Regardless, I'm excited to see your video. Yes. Dark Theme Unity is definitely. Wait, what? Oh, wait. Dark Theme Unity is free. If like recently they changed that, I don't know. I think that doesn't sound familiar. That was paid for, but it is free now. I haven't paid for anything for Unity just yet. And yes, if you've already headed out, or if you haven't headed out, good night, Jenna. Thank you for popping by. Yes, for real. Hey, that's pretty good. That's synced up pretty well if you responded that quick. Yeah. It's free now. What the frick am I looking at? Go away. No. Yeah. You're very, very excited for the fact that dark mode is free. But yes, it's free. Well, I feel like with game dev, that's one. Oh, why is he over there? Why are you over here, my son? Back to the center, you must go. Yes, go to sleep. Yes, you draw your Minecraft stuff. Ethan, you need to be a mod. Do you need to be a mod, Ethan, so you can like enforce the laws that I definitely don't have in place? No numbers. No. Okay. Nice. Alright. Be nice to Jenna. She's going to bed. You can be mean to her when she's going to stay around for longer. Was I supposed to do something? I don't remember. Okay. Yoink. Nice. Do I have anything else open here? Nope. Okay, go to sleep. Goodbye. Yes, thank you. I don't know what you're saying exactly that, Joe. I'm just gonna act like I agree. Alright, thank you. I'm tired. Yeah, yep. Go to sleep. Go, just leave. I'm gonna go back to being a reaction channel.
We're gonna be ranking stuff. And then
wow.
Something called a network identity. If you don't,
wow.
Save the player in there.
What?
And then unlock the end. Okay, if we go to the network manager, it wants a player prefab, which is what it spawns in when a client joins. So
wait. Why didn't he have
to add on something called a network identity? If you don't, well, let's see what happens if you don't. If you get the prefabs.
Oh, he's just gonna show what happens. Okay. I'm not messing, Jenna. You're probably still here, considering you didn't say bye again. But you can go to sleep. Echo. What, is there an echo? Oh, you're echo. What is wrong with you, Ethan? Okay. Let's...
Okay, if we go across to the network manager, it wants a player prefab, which is what it spawns in when a client joins. So
Okay.
if we actually do want that again, let's drag in the player. It's not going to like it. It's going to say player
Oh.
prefabs have a network identity. A network
Okay.
identity is, you know, how
Wow.
knows what is what on the network.
Thank you.
what's who and all that lot. So if we go to the
Thank you for showing me that it says that there's a problem by not doing it properly.
Okay, so on the player, I want to add a network identity. Okay.
Yep. Network identity. Dink. Net. I probably... Alright, don't ask. That was already there. I don't care. Network identity. Bam. Alrighty.
Save. And just by adding that, we can now go to the network manager and add the player prefab.
Wait, oh, did you just save the prefab up here? Is that possible?
Save.
No, wait, what?
Oh, it's not.
Stop moving so fast.
Okay, so
Why would
player,
you move so fast? And what the
network.
frick do you click up here?
Save.
Overrides. Apply
And
all.
just by adding that, we can now go to the network manager
Oh.
and add the player prefab. So this is
Didn't know that was a thing. Cool. So I can, now that I have my player prefab with the network identity, I can just yoink. Yoink. There's our player prefab. You didn't fix the error. I didn't create the error, you person. What's next? Oh yeah, network manager and player prefab. Yoink.
This is something the network manager cannot spawn. Okay, the server can spawn this object, and whoever it spawns it for can actually have ownership. Okay, you can check on the network identity who owns it,
Okay,
whether you own it,
okay.
whether you have authority to do stuff, and that's what we need to be doing. So let's actually move on now to write the player script.
All right,
Okay,
player
we're going to write a simple
script.
script to move the player. So we're going to say
Move the
initialize field private vector free movement.
Okay,
Okay, just so
okay.
it's in the inspector. And then we want in the update function to basically say if we don't press spacebar, so if not input.get key down key code space. This is just a really simple example, as I said. Return if we don't press space, but if we do press space, then transform.translate.
What in tarnation?
So we're saying move that much in that direction every time we press space.
What? Intarnate? What? Why? Wait, let me see if I can figure out how this works. In the update, which I also dislike, wouldn't you want to use fixed update for movement? Interesting. Alberto says you to fix the error of. You need to spell words. Says to fix the error of your cancelled. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. If you'd like to explain it, I can fix it, but I don't think there was a problem. Now time to analyze whatever the heck I'm looking at. Oh wait, so it's only, the thing's only gonna move when you're holding space? Okay, so this isn't like a jump or anything. I thought it was usually, okay. Transform.translate movement. Okay, that's interesting. Well, do I want to write this code? No.
Now, problem with this is quite a few problems, okay, that we're going to solve. So
Oh, okay. I was right. Look at that. I paused right before you said there's a problem. I meant echo. What? Is there an echo? I'm confused. Is there an actual echo? Let me listen to myself 1 second. Nah, can confirm. I heard myself without an echo. I don't know what you're talking about. Y'all, that's... Get that cringe out of my chat. I don't know what y'all are doing.
this would run on every client, because every client would have many players, and they'd all press space, or when they press space, all of the things would move. But we want only, we only want your input to affect your player, and we also need sync movement, because this won't actually sync across clients. So the way...
That's definitely not the problem I was thinking, but it definitely is a problem. These guys are useless. Yes, there is an echo. I don't hear an echo at all. Like, I know I don't have, like, I'm just sitting in my room. I don't have, like, stuff on the walls and things to, like... You're muted. What? What do you mean you're... Ethan, you can screw up. Oh, Oh, we're screwing with you. Thank you, Noah. Okay, I didn't realize, I missed that message. Ethan, you can just suck right off. But thank you, Noah. And, Alberto, it seems like you relate to the joke. Noah, I'm just going to believe you at this point. Continuing on.
We're going to do that. We've got two ways I'm going to show you today. And the first one is going to be by using a component that comes with Mirror that syncs and transforms, or syncs positions, basically.
Alright.
So we go back to the player, and we want to add a network transform. Okay.
Whoa. Network transform. We added a new hat.
So that's the network transform, and this component will sync across the network where this object is. So I'm going to go put that there.
Thank you. I will. Oh. I don't care.
So client authority is whether the client has the authority to move this object. If it's false, it means only the server is allowed to move it. So for now, we're going to say yes, the client has authority, which you don't want most of the time, but for the sake of this, it's fine. And if your game isn't, if you aren't worrying about cheating, then you can allow the player to move themselves. But at the end of the day, if you're making a competitive game, then you definitely want to validate movement yourself as the server, rather than letting the client do it.
Well, vibing into that button, I guess. I have the stream. Y'all are just being a pain. I have the stream muted elsewhere. Can y'all meme's gone on long enough. This is a meme, but I see that my computer is muted that I used to check. So stop. I know that's a meme on other people's like streams, but like for real, let me just stream. I won't listen to y'all later if y'all ain't gonna actually help now.
Not going to change anything else there. By default now, this object will be synced across clients, but the same problem is still here, which is that you control all of the things. You only want to control your own. So before we even check if you press the key, we want to only do this method if you have authority over this object. Now, currently we're inheriting from mono behavior. We need to actually inherit from network behavior. Okay, and that allows us to access.
All right. Okay, well, I don't hear an echo. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. There is no echo. Wait. Okay, there's only one input here. What is your problem? Oh my gosh. Testing. I don't hear an echo. What are you hearing? Mute myself now. There is no echo whatsoever. Refresh the stream. Let's just do a double check right now, because I heard a comment that sounded like a suspicion. Just half a second here. Okay, y'all are all in the same freaking Discord call, watching my stream. Noah. And Noah's on my side here, which means it's not just them two memeing together still at the same time. I'm continuing on. Noah, if you can figure out what the problem is, I'm listening to you and only you. So, moving on.
This, whether we have authority. So if we have authority, if we don't have authority, we return.
This is interesting. I've seen people do this before. I've never seen the appeal of, like, checking things and just returning in a function, as opposed to just, like, saying, like, if this and this do this. There might be something more safe about this, but I'm not sure.
Which means that we end up only actually...
Oh, I never added the thingy I was supposed to do. That'd work. Meanwhile, I act like I have to do that, but I haven't copied any of the other code yet.
Checking input on the ones we have authority for, which is our player. Equally, we can also add this client tag. I'm not sure if this is actually necessary, but it means that this method only gets called on a client. We don't need the server to run this code. This is only on clients. Okay?
I'll do that too. I'll, like, write the actual code in, like, half a second. Can I spell client right, please?
And then now this should actually work. If we actually go and build the game, we'll be able to move. But there's still a slight problem, which we'll be sorting out in a minute. Let's go get the test. Actually, first we're going to delete the player from the scene, make sure the prefab is saved and up to date. Also, make sure the prefab has a certain amount of movement, so I'm going to set it to 1 on the z-axis. Then I'm going to delete the player and go build the game. I'll see you guys in a minute. Okay, so I built the game. Here is the editor, and here is the build version. We're going to use the editor as the host. So
oh, it needs a spawn point still.
It spawns in our player object, which we've registered down here in the player prefab. If I press
Oh, wait.
spacebar,
Oh.
I'm going to move forwards.
Oh,
If I come
what?
over here, and I press LAN client, I'm going to join, and there we are. Now if I press spacebar here, I move forwards. But you notice there's one problem. Here I'm teleporting, which, let's pretend that's my intended thing, is I teleport. Well, the network transform view is actually going to try smoothly syncing the position, which is what you want most of the time. For example, just running around your game as a player,
Well,
most
that's-
moving isn't teleport.
That's pretty impressive. Ha ha. What? Y'all entertain yourself in chat at this point. I don't know how to help y'all. Okay, so
On the server, there's a minute.
let's go. Actually, I don't want to take his code. I honestly don't care.
If I press spacebar, I'm going to move forwards. And if I come over here and I press LAN host, and that's my intended thing, is I teleport. Well, the network
It's nice that
is
it's
actually gonna try
smooth.
smoothly syncing the position, which is what you want most of the time. For example, just running around your game as a player, most moving isn't teleporting, so you want to use the transform view like we're doing right now, and it'll be fine because it'll work better. But let's say, for example, you do want to teleport, then I'm going to show you the second alternative. Because if you want to teleport and the player sees us move smoothly, then we're not really seeing the same thing, and it might break, well, not the immersion, but it's not what you want. So also, if I leave, I go away, and I can join back, and I'm back at the start. I can move here. So now I'm really far ahead. If I go back to here, you see me off in the distance.
It's impressive how quickly that worked. Like the fact, because there was a lot more involved in doing that in Unity's built-in system, so that's pretty impressive that works that quickly.
So yeah, it works, but I'm going to show you the alternative for if you actually want sudden movement rather than smooth movement. So for that, go over to the player prefab. We're going to remove the network transform because we don't want that to sync our position. Okay. Then we go back into the script, and rather than translating on the frame, we need to actually get the server to effectively teleport all our players. But the problem with that is we need that to be saved too. So we want to send a method to the server and then get that server to then broadcast that to all the clients. And this allows you to validate on the server. We don't need any validation for this example, but I'm going to show you how you do that. So if we go over here, we want to make a method, so a private void, and it has to start with CMD. And it's a command, and then I don't know, move for example. Okay. So, and then to actually mark this as a command, we put the command tag for it. Call this from a client to run it on the server. Okay.
All right, we're gonna write this part because it seems useful. Private void CMD.
So, down here, instead of this, we're actually going to comment that out, and instead I'm just going to call CMD move. And what that does is, I'm a client calling this command, which means that the server then runs this one.
Okay. Why? I don't know why I'm refusing to write code in here. We're gonna continue to do that.
The server is then, well, this would be where you do, validate logic here, But then let's pretend we've got no validation. We just want to then say RPC move. Done.
Proceeds to even write a No, we're not typing code in there.
Here we make another function called RPC move, and this is a client RPC. So call this from the server, and it runs it on all
Whoa. I'm sorry. What? Okay.
But then let's pretend we've got no validation. We just want to then say RPC move. Down here we make another function called RPC move.
What does RPC mean?
And this is a client RPC. So call this from the server, and it runs it on all clients. Okay.
RPC
move. And this is.
I like how you explain stuff that doesn't need to be explained, and then it's like,
client RPC.
what the frick is a client RPC?
It runs it on all clients. Okay. You can't, as a client, call a method on other clients. You have to tell the server something, and the server decides, yeah, I want to tell all the clients to do something. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Still don't know what an RPC is, but RPC move. Client RPC. I need to be faster at typing. My typing is so slow.
As the server, obviously.
You had to read. I don't care enough to read the docs. Thank you very much. I'm watching a YouTube tutorial. Thank you.
If there's some validation, then you do it here. But then once you're happy that this command is what we should be doing, then we say, okay, clients, move. So then the clients say, okay, let's get rid of this. Whoops. Transform, translate movement. And I'm just going to put that like this. So the flow goes, every frame. on my client, if it's me, I'm going to check for input, and then I'm going to tell the server I wish to move. Okay, then the server's going to validate logic, and then say, okay, everyone move. Okay, then everyone receives this, all the clients, and they move their object. Now, the only problem with this, which comes in with validation, is that I could technically, get a hacked client and move other players, because, this constraint is only because I coded it. Someone else could still connect and run some different code that, at the end of the day, all validations should be done on the server. So this is where you should actually check that the person requesting to move is the right person. Now that'll take a bit longer, and we're not going to get into those kind of scenarios in this video. This is going to be simple. But
okay, I'm gonna write that comment there.
now, I want to try moving, I tell the server's like, cool, everyone move, okay? And because we're using transform.translate and not a synced transform component, they will teleport rather than smoothly moving on the other clients. So let's go give this a go. So I've built, I'm going to join as a host, I'm going to join as a client, and I'm going to sit here and move, okay? Look, as I move, it's pretty much instant, okay? I move forwards, I go over here, I move, I teleport forwards, and then obviously...
How synced
look, as I move, it's pretty much instant, okay?
That's good, that's good, that's good.
I teleport forwards, and then obviously, it's teleport thing. I can stop, join back, I can start teleporting around again, okay? So, as I said, the thing that's happening, we'll go over it one last time in another video, is that we say, okay, does this object belong to me? If it doesn't belong to me, then I don't care, okay, return. Did I press the space key? If I didn't, return. Okay, so at this point, this thing belongs to me, and I press the space key. Tell the server I wish to move. The server receives this only, okay, the server runs a logic for validation if you had any, okay? And then the server's like, okay, everyone, move. I then call this method, which is RPC move, because it's a client RPC, it actually calls it on all clients. Equally, there is a way to do target RPC, which is to call a method on a certain client rather than all. We'll get into that in a different video. And then the clients all receive this method call, which then they all move their object.
Now, what I meant, I'm still trying to figure... Wait. Imagine reading the Java doc for a C# Unity project. Okay.
Okay. If we had 3 players, it would also work. You could add another one. I can actually show that before we end the video. If I stop, okay, and go over here. Let's host. Then join as LAN client, so I'll move forwards a bit. Equally, there's a way to do...
Okay, I was gonna say, so I'm trying to figure out how... What? The frick is... What do you mean it's not a net? You don't know network behavior. I thought it was a network behavior. What? Did I spell it wrong? Or did I... Is it... Network behavior. I want to see the thing that... Oh, what? No, when do you change it to network behavior? Yeah. Yeah, I spelled that right. What is it? I don't know what your fit is. Okay, I didn't see all this stuff was here. Interesting. Am I missing something at the top of my document? As in, did he include something I don't have?
Inheriting will competitive, but for the sake of object. So I consider the identity. Network my own, because global. We need to make sure for this example. And we want to video a bit. When I make more, they'll come in here too. Was actually down. So step 2, we'll be creating the guys. People are going to does because it demo. I don't really care. Wrong. I'll make so demo. There it spawns in. Fab must manager for doing. So we don't movement the play script. Okay, we're going to write a simple script to move the player. So.
Yeah. No, he's only using Unity Engine.
So the one only by default now this object will be synced.
I know these are things that people always tend to delete, but I don't really know what they do, so I'm just gonna kind of leave them there for now. Because Unity always really seems to want them up there. But this looks flawless, and it's not having a fit with it, except this is having a fit with it. Namespace, client, RPC, attribute could not be found. What? 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 Are you... If I apply all, are you happy? No.
Key. Wait, we want to only do this method, okay?
Let's just write the rest of the code he wrote finally. I know it's like at this point I'm upset that I'm doing it too, but okay, go away. I don't need you. I know what that does. Begonsted. I think. Cool. We're gonna make our variable that we should have made. Wait, but there's no code. Noah, I don't know what color you're referring to at all, by the way. I saw you talking about something highlighted earlier, but I also don't know what that was either, if that's related. Variable, nice. Private, vector 3. I did capitalize it, it just doesn't, cool. Nice, we finally wrote the, what? Excuse me? Did you not? Oh, don't ask. Do not. It's been there the whole time. I figured it out on my own and then realized that I just didn't see it. Please do not ask. How's this color? Username color. I thought you've been blue and they've been green the whole time. I don't know if that changed. I thought that's how it was.
And that allows us to access whether we have authority. So if we have authority, well, if we don't have authority.
Okay, we're gonna write this code now. Alright. Update. If we do not has the authority, then we return to our homeland. I don't want to put stupid spaces in there. It's ugly. And if we do not input dot get key down dot key code dot space, we go back to return to our homeland. And this is the thing that gets put somewhere else later anyways.
Sorry, and then now this should actually work.
I don't think this changes anything, but I'll change that to avoid. I don't think that changes. Just what? Oh, whoa! I meant. Don't ask. Don't ask. I just assumed the first part was right. I hate all three of you. My gosh. Y'all really couldn't put, like... I was gonna say, like, 2 and 2 together, but, like, literally just put 1. Not even 1 and 1, just 1. The fact that, like, 2 of you heard an echo and the 1 of you didn't, and you're in a call together. Geniuses. I appreciate at least that you aren't memeing, so it's nice.
You go and build the game, we'll be able to move, but there's still a slight problem. Calling this command, which means that okay, you server.
And you just move the line of code down.
But effectively, they will tell. And I'm going to move. I tell the server. The server's like,
wait, what the? When was this thing here? Is that how it was originally? Translate movement. So he moves that down here.
The validate logic.
I don't know what that means. But we're gonna write it anyways. I have no idea what that means.
and say, okay, everyone move. Okay, then everyone receives this, all the clients, and they move their object. Now, the only problem with this, which comes in with validation, is that
let's go figure it out. What does this, which I'm assuming it doesn't mean equal to or greater than, mean in C#? It's an operator. That's a C# reference. That's big words. Gosh, that's terrifying. Input parameters on the left side. Lambda body. That's like it's like a sheep baby. What? Oh, I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm sorry you can't hear my VS Code. I'm sorry. I know I have like the plugin that makes like it like text to speech is all the code I write. I'm sorry you can't hear that. I have no idea what this is. And do I honestly care? Yes, I really do care. Am I gonna bother to figure it out? Not from this page. Stop saying lambda. I want the baby answer. Give me the baby answer. Please just give me the baby answer. Stop. I just want the baby answer. Oh. I guess it's just a way to have a function that only does like one line of code. That's my assumption. Nice, that's my assumption. Alright, cool.
That I could technically, get a hack is tell us move, port forward.
Right, am I caught up to date on the
because we're
code
using
now?
transform.translate and not a synced transform component, they will teleport rather than smoothly move.
Don't I have to put like CMD move here or something? I think I do.
On the client. So, we'll take a bit longer, and we're not going to get into those kind of scenarios in this video. And not say host. To me, then I don't care. Okay, return. Server receives this. The space key. I didn't return. Okay, so at this point, this thing belongs to me, and I press the space key. Tell the server I wish to move. The server receives this only. Okay, the server runs the logic for validation if you had any. Okay, and then the server's like, okay, everyone, move. I then call this method, which is RPC move, because it's a client RPC. It actually calls it on clients. Equally, there is a way to do target RPC, which is to call a method on a certain client rather than all. We'll get into that in a different video. And then the clients all receive this method call, which then they all move their object. Okay. If we had 3 players, it would also work. You could add another one. I can actually show that before in the video. If I stop, okay, and go over here. Let's host. Then join as LAN client. So I'll move forwards a bit. I'll move forwards a little bit. So I got another version of the game. I'm gonna join as a client.
Oh my gosh.
Free. Okay.
Okay.
Really hard to show.
Flawless.
As I move forwards, you actually see me on all 3 clients moving forwards. It all syncs perfectly. Okay. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Any questions, feel free to ask down below. Any suggestions, also give those down below. If you liked the video, then please leave a like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. Of course,
Like, subscribe. Nice. Alright, I wonder if this is even gonna work, because it's still not happy with me, I don't think. So it has the player script. We're gonna apply all. Oh, is it if I yoink out of existence and I hit go away. See, you have the thing I want. You have the player script. Cool. And the network manager exists in the scene somewhere in the void, I guess. It does have the player, auto create player, spawn method random. I don't have a list of spawns, which he didn't add anyways. It doesn't recognize network behavior, which I feel like is kind of required. NETWORKBHAVIO. You are? It's you are, right? I'm not absolutely insane. It isn't. I spelled network behavior right. I'm double checking this. I feel like this is like the dumb.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how you spell network behavior. If y'all have any idea any idea where to begin as to why it is not recognizing literally any of this, let me hear it. It seems like it's almost just like it's just none of the stuff is added, in my opinion. That's the vibe I'm getting. In the video, he didn't tell me to do anything other than just add, mirror. I don't think I need to add the old multiplayer system from, Unity, which I know he said it's based off of. That's definitely not a problem that we're getting, but nice. Vector. Not the problem. Do I need to check? I don't. Yes, I don't know if that's sarcasm or helpfulness, because I think that's exactly what this is saying. Honestly, I think that's I didn't know it was the, yeah, unless you're either me and just reading what this thing says, or you're actually explaining. I really don't know what it means too much. I just know, that's why I'm thinking it seems like Mirror isn't installed properly or something. But it should be, considering it has all the stuff here. Read me. You know, it's I feel like I need to update. Wait, I thought I already restarted Unity since I got this, though. I have restarted Unity since then. That didn't help. That's a lot of code. No, thank you. This is the stuff I don't like messing with. I hate stuff like this. I just want to write code and make game do the thing. Let me pull up this whole playlist. I'd like the playlist, please.
Okay, so hello, welcome back to another.
Okay.
Unity tutorial. So this video will be the first of many where I'm going to be covering a different. We set up Mirror and
there's some playing Pong.
You guys can go and do because, which is obviously submitted. Old multiplayer. But down below the server, run a server and an event network objective, and so it's for doing everything. If we look at examples, we've got these different examples, and we've got one about chat, one about.
Yeah, he doesn't set up like literally anything. He just tells you to download it. Any ideas? Hit me with ideas if you got ideas. I feel more helpless than I should, quite frankly. Mainly just because I don't do with stuff like this. That's why I was just hoping it was spelling. So it doesn't recognize network behavior. Can we go to definition? Yeah, I think that's a problem, that it doesn't know the definition. Oh, okay. Noah, I do understand that. since you want to help, I'll hit you with what these things say. So the first error that isn't going away is dangling components have unfulfilled dependencies. Unity engine.gui utility process event and then inputs. But the main one that it has over and over is assets. That's the player asset, and it's saying, I don't know what error CSO 246 is, but it says the type or namespace network behavior cannot be found. Parentheses, are you missing a using directive or an assembly reference? And it repeats that for, instead of network behavior, it's client attribute, client, command attribute, command, client RPC attribute, and client RPC. So it's literally not getting access to any of the things I need. Jeez. Put your components back? Did I take the components? What do you mean oh, oops. You mean put the components back? Or you're just memeing again, never mind. Did you import the namespace? I was never told to import a namespace. And he also doesn't seem to use a namespace because there's nothing at the top of his code.
Okay, so hello, welcome back to another Unity tutorial. In today's video, we're going to be doing some link in the description to go to GitHub and find
the only namespace he has is the if I'm not mistaken with what a namespace is.
Which I've already added on. Okay, if we go across the network.
How did you install Mirror? I flat out was just on Unity Asset Store. Mirror. Right there. Purchased. Was free, but. And it's already, and then I just installed it. And I imported it. I hit import, I guess. Well, I think it also ended up saying install later. But that's how I have Mirror right here. But literally his video doesn't show anything else other than just that. I guess we can pull up a new video. Say how to start using Mirror in Unity. Part 1 setup.
In my little uploads on the tutorials, Mirror is banned to be. You can have a still stop on. It's not complete one. Load faster.
So he downloads it off.
No, we cannot. Seeing it, just folders. And what we really care about is a runtime folder. So you can see all these scripts here. These are going to be what makes up our Mirror project. So that is just basically importing it into your project. And as of this video, we're just going to go ahead and set up our network manager and our player prefabs. We're going to go ahead and do that for now.
See, he doesn't do anything either. He just slapped the assets in there. Why?
Go into assets, Mirror. I thought I already downloaded it. I mean, I know.
Yeah, it's literally just the assets. That's all that they use. So, I don't know. I feel like people are going to have the same problem. Let's just say Unity Mirror multiplayer network behavior not found. No, I don't want Unity's documentation. That's not helpful. So here's this. So it says it's being depreciated. Here it's referring to the depreciated. So that's interesting. So this, no, how do you feel about this? Because this is where it already seems like it's not recognizing it because it's being depreciated. I guess whatever's left here that, you know, the people at Mirror are gonna make sure they keep things up to date. So I assume sticking with Mirror is not a problem, despite the fact it's using this network behavior. Because these videos were made in, yeah, March of this year. So it's not been that long. So how do I add it? It didn't help. Shit, don't need to keep this blocked. I spelled mirror wrong. That probably is why that isn't coming up. Ethan, why are you here? I see your message. Oh, okay. Mirror, mirrors page. Class network behavior. Base class, which will be inherited by scripts. None of this is helping. This thing has a network identity, and it has a network transform. 0, because we're gamers. And then there's basically nothing else here except for a player script. Why is our player script not getting access to the thing it needs? Actually, no, Noah, as much as I agree with quality over quantity, I will take his viewership. Yes, Ethan, I will put up with you for your viewership. Thank you very much for your... I appreciate you. You're a fourth of the people here, and I appreciate that. Actually, one of them's probably myself monitoring on my laptop. So, you're a fourth or more of my viewership, and I appreciate that. I love you. I love you, Ethan. But now, like... where is this from? How these classes being inherited by... I don't know where that is. Will it, like, autofill stuff if I start, like, typing Unity? Does... Okay. Actually, guys, I'm actually smart. Guys, I'm actually... Wait. What did I say? Hey, you're looking at the docs. You scroll through the entire... Yeah. No, Ethan, I did look at it. I read the top. I read a good part of this. Realized it didn't help. And these are just modes and stuff from it, and properties of network tag, which only matters if I have network working. None of this helps if I don't have it on there. Okay. But I got this. I'm smart now. Watch me. Mirror. Examples. Pong. Scripts. Player. Trust me, if this changes something, I'm going to quit game dev. Okay. We're going to get rid of this, apparently, because now nobody, literally not even the example was using it, which means I'm not going to use it. Are you happy? Why are you not happy? Network manager? Where are you getting this from? Why do you have it and I don't? Okay. If this fixes this, again, I'm going to quit game dev. Make sure it's open here. You're deleted, go away. Save. Minimize, play. No, okay, that didn't fix it. How? There's literally nothing different here. It has the namespace, but that it's clearly referring to the mirror examples Pong. Okay, let's mirror examples Pong. So it's a folder. It's just like grabbing everything out of this folder, but none of these have anything useful. They just have network behavior. That's exactly what I have. I have literally no clue. I wasn't thinking this. I'd get stuck this early on. I thought I'd just be following the tutorial. Hey, wait, I got an idea. I bet you everyone else is having this. Actually, I don't bet everyone else is having this problem. Where are the comments? Aren't the comments up here? Why are the comments not up here? We're just gonna bink. Bonk. I thought the comments, I guess they're only moved. Actually, I'm gonna keep this. Make sure to put at the top using mirror. I was trying to get the network behavior, couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. What do you mean? How is his working without saying using mirror? So, of course the first comment says this. Look at me. Am I a big boy yet? We'll bring y'all back to watch this. Absolutely amazing. Using mirror. Mirror. If this fixes it, I'm not quitting game dev. Oh, it fixed most of them. I don't know what I don't know what your problem here is, but yeah, let's go. Get out of the way. Go away. No one loves you. Go away. Bye. Okay, so we fixed most of them. We did it. Alberta, that thing is already, I'm not using Unity's version. Mirror has it as well, since it's being depreciated from Unity. Which I just found out that. I don't know what this one is, what fit it's having here. But I found out I have using mirror now, which fixed that. So hooray, we fixed that. Is anybody else? Yep. I like how he doesn't even comment on it. Maybe this is a more recent problem? Yeah. Okay, now I just need to figure out what the problem is here. And then we're back to working. What? Okay, wait. Let's go back to this code. Yoink.
Manager, it wants a player prefab. Adding.
Let's go back and make sure I didn't type something wrong at the bottom.
Cool. every frame. Oh, whoops.
Client RPC. Client RPC. Oh, lowercase, lowercase. Yep. I saw myself capitalizing it a lot earlier. Is that good? Are we good? Please, 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 please. That was excitement. Play. Oh, he's not moving. My child. My child, why do you not move? No, Ethan's just making programming. When you try to vent, but you're a crewmate. Illegal access exception. I like that. When you go to soccer field but sink, but a sinkhole consumed it. No such field exception. Oh. Freaking oh my gosh. Alright. So everything's working. Oh wait, no. Literally everything's not working. Everything's not having a fizzy fit. That's where we got to. Did we... So we have these communicating. We have the... we did that. I got it. I got it. If anybody told me... Nobody told me. Okay, cool. I can say that I came up with it because nobody told me. I forgot to change the movement. Don't ask. But now, I should be able to play a video game. Goodbye, my son. Go to Walmart. Bring me hamburger helper. And so his spherical son left into the distance. Blaine hit spacebar waiting for him to turn into a single pixel. I'm assuming proportionally this is going to get longer and longer, get smaller. I wonder if I can actually get it down to 1 pixel. Y'all probably can't even see it on the stream, I still can. We're down to 6 pixels? 4 pixels? Oh, yeah, it's 4 pixels. 3 pixels? 2, no, actually, no, now we're down to 5. 4, 3. Oh, back up to 4. 3. Okay, no, I think that's actually 4 now. And we're down to a 2x2 of pixels. 3. We're down to a 3. It's no longer a 2x2. 2 pixels side by side. I was right, it's 1 pixel. It's a single pixel. My son must disappear. Goodbye, son. Do not return until you have the hamburger helper. Wait, is that single pixel? That is single pixel, okay. Be gone, stiff my son. You must disappear. Into the void realm you go. Please disappear. You do not have the hamburger I require. You do not get to exist. Will it ever stop rendering this 1 pixel? My hand's tired. Oh, you just. The noise when your keyboard makes when it falls down the stairs. The noise when your keyboard makes chasing after a squirrel. Monty gallops along on his wooden horse, and now I've been clipped. I appreciate it. It's not gone. My hand is exhausted. Please. Go away. You do not have the hamburger. Oh, wait. He got even smaller. Now is he 1 pixel? I was looking away. He's gone. I missed it. I went to read chat as I was pressing buttons, and now my son's gone, and I missed his disappearance. I didn't get to say goodbye. I'm kind of upset. I didn't actually see when the last pixel disappeared. I'm not crying. Son, please bring back the hamburger helper. Hey, what's good? He's back. Bring me the hamburger. What did Noah go to sleep or something? Okay. That entire scene was because I'm exhausted, and I think my effort is gone. Are we done with this video now, actually?
I want to media such as Twitch, Twitter, and Discord. If you can help me out by following on any of those.
That's right, because I liked and subscribed.
Welcome back to another Unity tutorial. Today's
the video. Someone mute this dude. Okay.
video, I'm going to be showing you guys what I've been up to in my own game that I've been working on. So I'm working on a multiplayer game using Mirror. Obviously, alongside this, I'm actually making some tutorials about Mirror for those of you who want to make multiplayer games. So yeah, I'll be showing you
advertising.
showing you the code, how I've set things up, and I hope you guys learn something from this. And obviously, feel free to ask me down below for any specific things you want videos on, so I can make a video showing you about how the lobby system works, how players get sent to the other scene, and then how they get set up with input and everything and the camera. So yeah, let's jump into it. So I guess the place to start is the menu. So when you start, well, first of all, actually, we've got the network manager bit, which actually
what is this about? Multiplayer lobby is what it's called? Okay. I assume we're going to set up a simple FPS as well. I guess the goal for this stream, now that we actually, I guess we really didn't have much of a problem other than just the fact that he didn't tell us to use Mirror. I feel like it should be straightforward about just using the code, like just coding and stuff. So I guess we can we can definitely get through this video at least. We'll probably skip chat. Just the next video. Lobby, main menu. Okay. Readying up, start. He's really going at it for setting up for a game. And I guess here's the best part about this. It seems like he's not talking much about movement syncing, which means, quite frankly, it might already be set up to just work fast. Just I can just sync movement and ta-da, I have a game. Maybe that's just how well Mirror works. So,
bit of stuff. Let's start in there. So this stores the minimum amount of players because by default the network manager stores the max number of players, but I also need a min before the game can start. And then a reference to the menu scene. It's actually a string, but because they've used the scene attribute that they've added that thing themselves in Mirror, it's in Mirror, yeah. The scene attribute actually allows you to drag in a scene instead of a string, and it just reads it as a string. So if you actually go back over to Unity, you see down here for the menu scene, I've actually dragged in the actual scene reference, and then what it's done is it's got the name off that. So it's actually good. It stops you having to type in the scene name manually and getting it wrong. And
wait, what?
The actual scene reference just reads it as a string. So if you actually go back over to Unity, you see down here for the menu scene, I've actually dragged in the actual scene reference, and then what it's done is it's got the name off that. So it's actually good. It stops you having to type in the scene name manually and getting it wrong. And then it has two different player prefabs. So it has one for the room and one for the game. Now even the one in the game, it's not the player that you control. It's just simply a representation of you. Because for example, let's say we destroy the player's object when they die. If we destroy this, then we get problems, or the player disconnects, or there's different things that can happen. So I need an object that just kind of exists and stores, for example, the player's score and other things, their name. So I have the room player. the room player actually handles some UI. I'm probably going to change this, to be honest. I don't quite like how this works, but when I first died, this was the first solution that came to my mind, and it works. Because right now, when I spawn in the player, if we go to...
Oh crap, this is a reaction channel. I have to be reacting. Wow.
Resources. The room player. The room player actually has the lobby UI as a child. Here, okay. So this lobby UI is a child of the room player, and what it says is, when we start on authority, so basically when our player starts on this computer, then tell the server what my name is and set the UI active. So that means that for every player, there's some UI, even though it's disabled, it's still there, and it doesn't really make sense to be. So I'm going to shuffle this around a bit to have the UI separated, but it works. Because right now we can set the display name, and when the display name changes, everyone updates it over here. So it goes over all the text mesh pros, so there's 4 of them. These 4, like, waiting for players, gets changed to be the player's display.
I wasn't listening to
so
that at all. I started thinking about RAM
player
more.
starts on this computer, then tell the server what my name is and set the UI active. So that means that for every player, there's some UI. Actually handle some UI. I'm probably going to change this, to be honest. I don't quite like how this works, but when I first died, this was the first solution that came to my mind, and it works. Because right now, when I spawn in the player, if we go to resources, the room player actually has the lobby UI as a child. Here, okay. So this lobby UI is a child of the room player, and what it says is
player has the UI.
Start on authority, so basically when our player starts on this computer, then tell the server what my name is and set the UI active. So that means that for every player...
Output. I'm assuming that's a function from mirror, and then whatever that is.
There's some UI, even though it's disabled, it's still there, and it doesn't really make sense to be. So I'm going to shuffle this around a bit to have the UI separated, but it works. Because right now we can set the display name, and when the display name changes, everyone updates it over here. So it goes over all the text mesh pros, so there's 4 of them. These 4, like, waiting for players, gets changed to be the player's display name, and then there's actually text next to that for saying, is ready or green. And then it basically sets it to be green if they're ready, or red and then not ready. Okay, so that updates every time this function update display gets called, and update display gets called whenever someone changes their ready status or their display name. Now, ideally, when they update their ready status, I only update the ready text, and when they update the display name, I only update the name. Right now, we update both every time. It's not.
And what is it a function? Handle display name changed. I wonder if there might be a way to tell by colors whether or not that's a default to Unity. I don't care enough.
I only update the ready text, and when they update the display name, I only update the name. Right now, we update both every time. It's not ideal. It's absolutely fine. It doesn't cause any problems. But for the sake of efficiency and just cleaner code, I should probably separate that out. And then here are some commands. So remember, commands are called from a client to the server. So as a client, I say command set display name and tell it what I want to be called. And the server doesn't really need to do any validation because actually this is where you put validation for whether their name's maybe inappropriate, whatever you check. Does it follow those guidelines? Maybe you don't allow swear words or something like that.
My name is Sir Bippy, and no one else can have it.
But for now, I don't care. Whatever the player says they want to be called, I set them to be called that. And because this is a sync var, what actually happens is it syncs it with all clients, and all clients call this function.
Also, I'm curious. I haven't even checked. What does my audio even sound like when I talk over the video? So
them. So when another client
he's talking, I'm also talking, and I'm testing, and I'm testing.
Okay, so
it sounds beautiful.
When I change ready status, or so it's like that again here. When I ready up, if it's ready, then it's not ready. So it basically toggles, right? If I press ready, it goes on, off. And then whenever that changes, keep in mind this is on the server, this is a command, commands only run on the server. I then, in my game manager, my network manager, I then check, okay, go over every player and see if they are ready to start. Because is ready to start will say, okay, well, we're not ready to start if we've not got enough players. We're also not ready to start if any player is not ready. But if we've got enough players and everyone is ready, then return true. And then handle ready to start. Basically, we'll toggle the start game button for the leader. If you're the leader, then it toggles it for you. Okay, and then at the end of the day, when they press start game, it then says start game. Now, this is where I should actually validate, validate is lobby owner. Because right now, technically, anyone could call this command, and we just say, okay, we'll trust them to start the game. Now, when it comes to cheaters in video games, you don't really care about those cheaters that join your lobbies and start games for you. It's a bit dumb. It's never going to happen. I mean, then again, it probably will happen, but just because people like to, prove that they can do stuff. So I'm going to validate here at some point that the lobby owner is the person that is starting the game. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if someone...
Alright guys, welcome back. It's Hacker XX6XX9. Today we're gonna be hacking Minecraft, and today we're gonna make it so that I'm gonna start the game, despite the fact people are not ready to start the game. Alright, here we go. You see that guy? He hadn't hit ready yet. I can't believe I started the game. Genius. I'm tired.
Someone managed to hack and make the start game button interactable, so long as when they press it, it stops on the server, so it's like, no, you can't start the game. Okay, that was a lot. Let's move on to the next part. Okay, so the player menu, we have the input field for the name and a button to confirm. I'm not going to go through the actual saving of the name, but what happens is when you do confirm, when you save the name, we then turn off the name input panel and we turn on the landing page panel. Okay, so I'm just going to go hide this for now.
Also, I'm just watching this for content, by the way, my own information. I actually, since I'm planning on making RAM War with this, I don't plan on actually making a lobby, so I don't plan on making like a menu. There's gonna be like no UI in RAM War. It's all gonna be in game, just about is what I'm planning on. So I hate UI. I hate making UI, and I ain't gonna use
and
it.
here we've got three buttons. So host calls main menu.host lobby, which I'll show in a minute. Join calls. Actually, also when you join, you don't immediately join. You have to say, what lobby do you want to join. So I have this other thing called enter IP address, where you put in your IP address, and when you're done, there is a button. The button calls join lobby menu.join lobby. Let's look at the host one first. So I've turned on so many different panels. I'm just going to turn that off, turn this off, and go back to here for the main menu. So the main menu quite simply just calls the network manager and says start a host, and then disables itself, because then it goes from there. The actual lobby UI is on the player, so we don't need to activate it because it gets activated itself. That will probably change. As I said, I'm going to change around how that UI works. So it's really easy to start hosting. You just call .start host, and then if we actually go to the enter IP address, the join lobby menu, I actually have some events in the network manager for certain things happening, like the client connecting and the client disconnecting. And the thing is, if the client disconnects while they're trying to join a lobby, what it actually means is, it usually means that they've failed to join, because that could be because there's no one hosting the IP, for example, or the game's full, or there might be different reasons why you get disconnected when you're trying to connect. So I say, when that happens, reactivate the join button. I don't want them to be able to spam it, so I turn it off when they try and join. When they try and join, I turn off the button, but as soon as they fail to join, then I reactivate it so they can try again. Obviously, I could have some text pop up here saying, like, hey, that IP address is incorrect, or something went wrong, or whatever. And then finally, when someone actually does connect, sorry, when you connect to the server successfully, okay, on client connected, then we re-enable the button in case, later on you go back to the menu and it's still disabled. Now that should never happen, but I thought it's still a good idea to do that. And then we disable ourselves, so we get rid of the lobby UI, and we also disable the landing page panel, which is the same as over in the main menu script. If I look over here, just like how we disable the landing page panel, we do that here too, because all we need after this is the lobby UI, which is on the player. And that leaves us with the lobby UI. So the lobby UI is currently in the room player. As I said, we set the name text and the ready text and the start game button. It's all that stuff. The only other difference is we also have the game player, which is the same but has less stuff. It adds itself to a list when it starts existing and removes itself when it stops existing.
You better make an escape menu and a scoreboard. Nice thinking with all. Now I know, yes, there's gonna be an escape menu. I'm saying no UI for like starting games and stuff. Just literally imagine RAM War Minecraft, like. I guess you're probably gonna want. I'm gonna want like a very, very basic UI for like. I guess you're not gonna want to pick what online server you're joining in first person. I'm assuming you're saying I can't imagine Minecraft. That's just too bad on your part.
As well as don't destroy and load, because this is the version of the player in the actual game. So as I go between levels, I don't want to get rid of this object. I want it to keep existing. It's going to store, as I said, the name and the score and everything. Whereas the room player, I don't want to exist between scenes because it should be destroyed as soon as we leave the menu. We get rid of this. I actually have some code in the network manager. So we store room players and we store game players. And what should happen is when we actually disconnect, we remove ourselves from the game players, and then down here somewhere, when we go to the game, I loop over all room players, and then I actually spawn in the game player prefab and destroy the room player connection. And then what happens is when they get instantiated, they start existing, and then they add themselves to that store, as the name and the score and everything. Whereas the room player, I don't want to exist between scenes. It's all that stuff. The only other difference is we also have the game player, which is the same but has less stuff. It adds itself to a list when it starts existing and removes itself when it stops existing, as well as don't destroy and load, because this is the version of the player.
You didn't speak English there, Ethan. I can't read that.
In the actual game. So as I go between levels, I don't want to get rid of this object. I want it to keep existing. It's going to store, as I said, the name and the score and everything. Whereas the room player, I don't want to exist between scenes because it should be destroyed as soon as we leave the menu. We get rid of this. I actually have some code in the network manager. So we store room players and we store game players. And what should happen is when we actually disconnect, we remove ourselves from the game players, and then down here somewhere, when we go to the game, I loop over all room players, and then I actually spawn in the game player prefab and destroy the room player connection. And then what happens is when they get instantiated, they start existing, and then they add themselves to that list. So every player actually knows who else are the other game players, as well as the room players if they need to. And then we can also add later on maybe spectate players, or like other players that can join our game but aren't actually playing the game, and they get treated differently. They have different objects representing them. They have different logic being run. They don't store maybe display name or score. Maybe display name they do, but not score. And one thing I do is because they set their name in the room player, they need their name in the game player. So I actually somewhere here I set the game player's display name to be the room player's display name, so that actually gets transferred across. So if I end up displaying the name in the game, it's still the same as the name they chose back in the lobby. One thing to note is when you spawn things in on the network and on other clients, you need to have them registered. So the way you do that typically is if you go to the network manager, there is a list here of spawnable, registered spawnable prefabs. Problem is, if you have a game with lots of things being spawned in, like if you're making Pong, for example, you just need the ball and the paddles. That's all you need. But if you're making a game with lots of things, like in my game, I'm going to be spawning players, maybe different player characters, different projectiles, different attacks, whatever. There's a lot of things to spawn in, and it'll be a pain to manually add stuff to this list, remove it, and make sure everything's in there and not forget things. So when I used to use Photon, the way you did it in Photon to register things is you put them all in a resources folder, and they all got loaded from that resources folder. So I've actually written some code to do that. I've got a resources folder, and then inside that I've got spawnable prefabs where I have the player, actual game object, the physical player in the scene, as well as the room player and the game player. And then I also have some other systems that need to be spawned in by the server. The server needs to spawn in the round system and player spawn system because they are network entities, they exist. Now, I originally had it on server only because I'm thinking, the round system, the server should be the one that owns it and handles it. But the problem is that then won't give any client callbacks, and the actual clients need callbacks from these things to know when to, for example, start doing the countdown UI and all these other things that they need to do. So then the player spawn system, if we go over here, what it does is, it, over here, when
UI. You want to make the UI like do you want to as in design the graphics for the UI, or do you want to program at the Unity side of the UI? Both of them, programming wise, I'm interested to let you mess with that, despite the fact it's probably going to be very intertwined with everything I'm personally doing since I'm doing the networking system. No is not a proper answer, Ethan. No is not a proper answer. Just design. Okay, yes. That's one thing I'm also interested in helping with. Honestly, I'm saying that meanwhile I absolutely hate designing UI. So yeah, sure. I'm down to let you just try and design that. What do you have in mind? Not obviously don't tell me what you're gonna, don't tell me graphic-wise, I'm not gonna be able to follow that describing. I'm interested, what menus and buttons do you think we're gonna need? Hit me, just what you think we're gonna need, because I know there's certain things we do and don't.
The server, when this starts on the server, right, so only on the server, we listen to on server ready. So on server ready is not what it seems. It's not when the server's ready. It's actually when a client is ready and it's called on the server. So all the events in Mirror, the on server and on client is where they're called. So they're called on the server when someone is readied. We spawn their player. So to spawn their player, we just effectively say spawn a game object or spawn the player prefab at a certain place, and then spawn.
Oh, thank you. Button on the left and button in the center. Couldn't ask for anything more. I can respect that. I'm not gonna get helpful stuff at 3:30. I'll go back to watching my video and barely listening.
Spawn it on the server, the player instance, but then we have to when this starts on the server, right, so only on the server, we listen to on server ready. So on server ready is not what it seems. It's not when the server's ready. It's actually when a client is ready and it's called on the server. So all the events in Mirror, the on server and on client is where they're called. So they're called on the server when someone is readied. We spawn their player. To spawn their player, we just effectively say spawn a game object or spawn the player prefab at a certain place, and then spawn it on the server, the player instance. But then we have to actually, well, we don't have to, but we are giving it authority to the connection. So whoever this on server readied will tell us who readied up with a network connection. And by passing that in as a second parameter, it gives them authority over the object. So the server has to spawn in your player object for you, but then it can pass over authority by when someone is readied. We spawn their player. So to spawn their player, we just effectively say client is where they're called. So they're called on the server when someone is readied. We spawn their player. To spawn their player, we just effectively say spawn a game object or spawn the player prefab at a certain place, and then spawn it on the server, the player instance. But then we have to actually, well, we don't have to, but we are giving it authority to the connection. So whoever this on server readied will tell us who readied up with a network connection. And by passing that in as a second parameter, it gives them authority over the object. So the server has to spawn in your player object for you, but then it can pass over authority to you, so that it's you can then move it and do all the commands and everything from it. It's your object. So that's how that works. And then it also stores the next index, so that when the next player joins and wants to get spawned, they don't spawn in the same place. They spawn at a different place because we've got an array of, a list of spawn points. And then the spawn points themselves can't really exist in the editor. If I actually show you, if I go to the scene and spawn points, I've got these different spawn points. I've given them some rendering here on the gizmos just so I can easily see them. What they do is, on a wait, I've got these different spawn points. I've given them some rendering here on the gizmos just so I can easily see them. What they do is, on a wait, they add themselves as a spawn point, and when they get removed, they destroy themselves as a spawn point. okay? And all that does is adds it to a list, which is static, and removes it from a list. And then when it gets added, it's then ordered. So what happens is all these 4 game objects that have player spawn points on, when they start existing, they add themselves to that list, and when they stop, they remove them. The reason I can't just have them referenced normally is these spawn points exist in the map, whereas the round system or the player spawn system does not exist in the map. It's just spawned in as a prefab, so it needs a way to actually get these things. And obviously I've only shown you it with 2 players connecting. It goes to spawn point 0 here, then it goes to spawn point 1, and then, oh, that's 3, so it goes spawn point 2, and spawn point 3. And these little green lines show you the actual direction in which you're going to face when you spawn. Okay, so I can modify these whenever I like, and I don't have to go back and change anything anywhere else. I just have to move where this point is and then save it, and then now this player spawns over here. Okay, so for the final script, we're going to be covering the round system. So the round system, when it starts existing on the server, cares about also when someone's ready on the server, and then unsubscribes when this gets destroyed. It then checks every time this happens that the number of players that are ready, if it doesn't equal the number of players that there are, then return. So only once everyone is ready do we then enable our animator. So that would then do this. So round system animation. It then goes 3, 2, 1. Okay, then as soon as it gets to here where it starts saying begin,
Ew.
it then calls.
Imagine having a countdown system in a multiplayer FPS. I prefer just starting the game and requiring someone in game to count down 3, 2, 1. Definitely optimal.
This method start round. It's a server callback, so it only gets called on the server. Then it tells all the clients, hey, remove this from your input manager. Now, input manager is something I've written.
Chat is ecstatic in agreeing with me. Thank you, chat.
It just stores different action maps that should be enabled and disabled. I'll quickly scroll through it, but I'm not going to explain how it works. Something I came up with, if you guys want to know about this, then it's just some way that I've figured out. I mean, maybe there's a better way, but I couldn't find anything online for enabling and disabling certain input maps. So you see over here, sorry, action maps. I've got the player action map, which is for move, look, jump, attack, so on, whatever else I had here. Then developer is like a different layer. The developer is not the same as the player. So when I disable the player, I can still use my console command like input basically. Because this is done by string, the only way I can seem to find it is by string. Because this is called player, I then here say action map names.player, which is a constant I made, so I don't misspell it anywhere. I say basically remove player, and that means that in that dictionary up here, when I add and remove to it, it checks how many is left of that particular thing. So if there is 1 or more, then you can't use that input, but if there is 0, then you can. So when we spawn the player in on the spawn system, we actually add player. So that means disable all player input, but then
I was about to comment and say, this guy's talking way too fast, and I'm not following all this. And then I realized I'm watching a video increased speed at 3 a.m.
Override and say, except from look, enable looking, okay? So when you spawn, you can look around, but you can't do anything else. And then the round system says, okay, when the round starts, then remove player, which effectively unlocks all of their inputs so they can all move, okay? And I think that's it, actually. Yeah, so also actually when the animation finishes, there's one more event over here, when it's completely done, which is countdown ended, and you'll see on countdown ended, we just disable the animator so that it's not just left on and still doing stuff. When it's disabled, it's then not wasting resources. And yeah, that's it. There's obviously more code in the project than this, but this is pretty much what I've got done so far. It's the main stuff, and it's how the game works to the point where you can, as I said, go to the menu, host a game, join the lobby, ready up. When you're both ready up, the host and start the game. When you go to the game, you spawn in and you can't move, then they go 3, 2, 1, then you can move. That entire thing, that's what I've shown in this video, quite briefly. But yeah, if you guys want more videos like this, feel free to let me know down below. If you guys want me to cover anything that I've shown in this video in more detail and make an actual separate tutorial for it, then feel free, let me know down below and I'll definitely make videos on that kind of stuff. Ask any questions about mirror, multiplayer, whatever. Join our Discord server, you can
open
well.
source.
But yeah, if you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. But of course, before I go, I've got to thank my patrons. Special thanks to
This is open source. I can totally just Patreon, Twitch, Twitter, GitHub. Oh, repo for my multiplayer tutorials. Look at that. Is it the only? Is Wizards in Training here? I am assuming it's gonna be in the one. Bingo. Bongo. Materials, preset settings, tutorials. Chat events ownership. So is it? What is this one called? What? Wait. Oh, so this is a different video. So how to make Wizards in Training behind the scenes, and then how to make. Okay, so this one's lobby. So he didn't upload this one in particular. I guess he was just showing off some stuff. So basic. The frick did you just say? I don't know what you're saying, Ethan. I can't help you. So this one doesn't have the code, which makes sense, because it's his game. Did he respond here? Expect content on this soon, then. Okay. I'm assuming that's what comes up for lobby and stuff. I'll probably watch chat while I'm, like, lying in bed or something tonight, because I'm probably not going to, like, code that one, but I'd like to hear what it says. Since it's, oh, wait, no, is lobby the next video? Wait. No, wait. Multiplayer lobby. Chat. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, I just watched this one. It just doesn't say I have yet.
Jason Square.
Bing, bing. Okay, now I've watched it. Nice. So, I'm probably not gonna watch this one on stream. Okay, I'm done. Don't help me help you. Got it. Completely understand. I will not do that. So I won't watch this on stream. This is probably where we'll start back up tomorrow. This lobby. Spawning in players. What is he have? I don't need that. I don't need that. Camera movement, basic combat. Okay, so he does have he has a full game in here. These are so expect wisdom training behind the scenes. How to sync events. Yes. Okay. So yeah, we'll continue with that tomorrow. Off-stream content? What do you mean? It's not content if it's off-stream. Alright. This is just going to consist of me watching videos if I continue with this. So we're not going to continue with this. We'll close that because we can find that easier later. Bam. Let's just make sure we even set this up properly. We're going to close that. Let's just double check that I even have this working, because I really honestly don't know if I do. Dink dink. Save. Do not maximize on play. Actually, no, yeah, you can maximize on play. File. Build and run. Can we do a poll? You should keep streaming or not. Go for it. Go for it. Do a stream. A poll. How do I do a... Do I have to do a poll or what? How do I do... I don't know how to do a poll. Chat settings. Can I like exclamation mark poll? Is that a thing? We're just gonna try it. Yes, you poll. Okay. Poll. Yep, I did it. Poll. Say yes. Say yes or no for continue stream. Keep in mind, continue stream is going to solely consist of me probably watching the next video at high speed. Because I don't want to like skip a video, because generally anytime I skip a video they're like, ah, yeah, you know that thing we did last time? Yeah, you didn't do it. I don't know how to do an actual poll, so I'm not going to. You guys can just respond. Wait, where's the... I don't know how to set up a poll, you bingleless Barry. I don't know how. I hate you. You know, if I don't... I'm honestly gonna just take you being a pain is just counting as 3 no's. So, no, we want a poll. If you don't tell me how to make a poll, it's not gonna happen. And if you don't tell me how to make a poll, I'm not gonna continue the stream. So help me. Also, I didn't even. Oh man. What scenes? What Pong? What do you mean? Oh. It's like, what's your problem? It's because it's building the wrong scene. Build and run. Multiplayer tests, builds. I have no idea what any of this is. Select folder. Are you okay now with what I've done, please? Ethan, you're getting one last chance. You told me to press the poll button. Obviously, if I knew there was a poll button, I would press it. You're going to lose your chances. You're going to lose your privileges. Alright, we have a game. Allow access. So I go dink, dink. Move forward a little bit. You you go away. Play. We're gonna join localhost. Beep. Hey, look, there we both are. And now, if I go ding, 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 ding. Oh, they're touching. So cute. I just looked it up. It says click the create. Okay, then I might not have access. You might need to be affiliated to have access to that then. Because there's not a create new poll button. In the dashboard, wow. What's the dash? What? I don't think I have access to the dashboard down here and here. If I go, it's not going to be in the creator dashboard because that's like for everything else. Yeah, that ain't. Yeah, I'm not messing with this. So if you said anything in chat, since it's in the dashboard, I can't. Jeez, this guy. Okay. All right, I'm ending the stream because of you, Ethan. Also, look, the game is working flawlessly. Now they're both going to go get Hamburger Helper together. That's how we end the stream. We send them both to get Hamburger Helper. Goodbye to him. Goodbye to him. Goodbye. Hamburger Helper, you go. Goodbye. You go to watch the. You go to get me Hamburger Helper. To the void. Goodbye. And they're gone. Nice. And they died getting me Hamburger Helper. A valiant death, to be sure. Okay, screw that. I'm not watching more. And save. Flawless. Yep, keyboard falling down the stairs again. Alright. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it a lot. Even the people, like, obviously the people I know, and to, in case there was a person or two I didn't know. Thank you all. I do really appreciate the watching. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed at least part of this. Even if it was just the keyboard falling down the stairs. And now that I actually got started on multiplayer, I will hopefully keep working on this on stream and possibly off stream as well slightly, depending on parts, to basically get this working. I think my plan is, I gotta see what the tutorial has in store. I might just honestly make like a rip-off version of Ram War. Essentially, like, set up a fake scene for the, like, hub, and then a fake scene for, like, in-game, and then just see if I can get movable characters with WASD, and then just, like, have, like, a pressure plate, like a trigger box that essentially just starts game with whoever's there, and spawns you in it. Just to make sure I have, like, the basics working. And then get some, like, basic stats, like, set up in various places. Not exactly sure what all this is going to consist of, but honestly it seems like after I get through this tutorial or these videos, I'll probably watch through them all. Before I do my own stuff, just because content for me to consume and understand how stuff works. Then I'll probably just start working with Bingo Bongo's movement system. Because why not? We can just get a game working. We can, honestly, if we just slap in that movement system and my gun system, we can at least have a FPS, which will be fun. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. Good progress. Really good progress tonight, just with how well that works. The fact that it updates so fast and it's so quick to set up movement between client and not, client and server. It's pretty awesome, so. I want to stop rambling now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a ton of fun. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.